Gentlemen, it is our considered view that Chairman Wontumi has been convicted in circumstances where there was no evidence at all to support a conviction in respect of the offense for which he has been convicted. It was never disputed that Chairman Wontumi lawfully acquired his mineral concession. It was never disputed that he lawfully acquired his mineral concession. That fact was established and accepted before the court. The central question was whether that concession had been assigned or transferred in violation of the law. It is our respected view that no evidence was adduced before the court establishing any such assignment or transfer of mineral rights by Chairman Wontumi. The prosecution could not produce any evidence to show that Wontumi had assigned his mineral right. Instead, the conviction rested on assumptions and inferences which, in our view, could not amount to proof beyond reasonable doubt. That is why we firmly believe that his conviction is a travesty of justice and has to be overturned on appeal. Fellow Ghanaians, equally disturbing is the broader context within which this prosecution has taken place. A troubling pattern is emerging in our country, a pattern where the government appears eager to shield its own while relentlessly pursuing perceived political opponents who have done no wrong. Today, the court no edi achinye. The tentini ni tetia ene se obia no wo a owo persecution ho attorney general office ho etimi ka asem ema ne to asum se Chairman Wontumi se bi no ni nkrata se obetu sabi gold o ya sase so eno enya ade a court no edi achinye enti a chese Chairman Wontumi no krata e man ho kwan so obetu efom agudie asama court no eka ene se omo gina so a omo de Chairman Wontumi akotwe abanku kom ne se omo se Chairman Wontumi krata na okra na emrem no ho kwan so bekura sa krata no o de sa krata no ama obi se onfa nkoye adwuma abra lance minister ama approval sabi enche se Wontumi okoye galamsey if say title na okra no na emrem na edimu boni aban ne kaso wa ne se o se Chairman Wontumi de ne krata ama obi akoye adwuma aban na mpren so na so so court no prosecution and man. Respect for the judiciary does not require silence in the face of a judgment that is fundamentally flawed. Our Constitution guarantees every citizen the right to disagree with judicial decisions and to seek redress through the appellate process. That is precisely what we intend to do as a political party. Ladies and gentlemen,
Solid TV Ghana. Fasada Emma Austin Bema and no ye tenase di judgment nechi and I say court proceeding nechi ebe pim say yede Chairman Wontumi ekoto efiase emfinhia polopori aduonuma yes aduonu a ye san so say onye adwumaden ye make sure say adwumaden e won na duefi obia no wonye plus reactions e ba nyina no ye tena ho edi nkomo madaroma anya na musi nkonya edi nkomo ade ache ene the nim efa the ruling no the MP before eka the Chairman Wontumi lawyers eka ana de afoforo ka de party fo so e kan ya boabo ni nyina no a ye de ba be som se akwanso se na me bagi dumaje no ho chia me medin e de Shaibu Lasisi medical mo akwa aba ne message say subscribe to the Solid TV channel ya like page no na share link no na notification icon no so ye de content too ma won sabe kan no hwinti o hwa me a say eye Solid TV Ghana ma menchia papaya na menchia hwefo nyina menchia menua Frank a o UK na o frɛ me adwuma na ɔsen fa masadan no ɔbɛhwɛ na wɔyɛ ne yi kama ɛde ama menua ba fem pɔma no obi bia wo hwɛ yi bia no wa metin bodi wa metin bodi bia munyina me mama achen emakwaba ma menchia me ama de ba akoso Mr. Ransford of Rainbow Montessori International School na menchia Mr. Kuyokun of KNL Roofing Factory ebre eba mu a ye beji bre ni a cheche ne ma no wate ase wo ba bia so do ba kwa school papa na ba bia so okobo dan so a obo so afebo edan no enwunu na medi di Shaibu si atenase a ene Chama Wontumi lawyers aba abonten e de aba betu dwa said judgment na eno na bae no omo reject judgment completely. It is here the omo de omani e kire appeals court na omo de omo nsam nyina akwakoto court anim asre court say court nka ma no na nsam a e court so e wo high court no omo fi se bia intention bi abamu saa so new patriotic party so e de aba abonten e de aba betu dwa said was it Chama Wontumi conviction no based on political merit. Yeah, the Chama Wontumi kotum because of say or a politician, one of the top politicians in the Ashanti region, the party based MP ND4 person omo working party based inti and account be Emma DSC you know. Now and also near social near be on the internet so and here say see I don't case there 11-1 11-1 sana case no akwa say near share MPP4 NDC4 edo makwa kotum ni aba be hwe NDC4 so a MPP4 so edo makwa kotum na case ni akwa 11-1 so far no MPP eba akunwa so NDC4 omodo omatum eye maako 11 di odika no eye Kwame Pepra brebe twam no na oye aban beka sana hene oyede kotum chachu kata so ekodamu Victor Solomon enso ekodamu Dan Agbodakwi enso kodamu Ibrahim Adams ekodamu Amidu Aliyu enso ekodamu Eugene Bafuboni ekodamu William Tete Teisu ekodamu Nano Owusu Ansam enso ekodamu Sule Muntana Asinina enso ekodamu ana Daniel Duku enso ekodamu ti so far no free 1992 ebesi 2020 no MPP4 NDC4 mususu said omadi bone a omadi omo akwakokum no eye maako edu baako ana from 1992 ebesi 2020 6 no MPP ni baako MPP for so a NDC4 so abansu so omaye bone etia oman no so no ebra no omote akunyam so omo no okogum eye baako eye Chairman Wontumi ko and so far no eye 11-1 ba bi esi eye ball no so far ba bi abo aba bedu no goals so apiem no eye 11-1 MPP4 no atima succeed under their term of office no NDC4 na say menka say Ghana for omusu I don't want to use MPP Ghana for omusu say omaye bone etia oman no na under the leadership of the MPP government no enipa maako du baako onomde omakwa key actors be no me MDC4 you can mention the likes of Agbodakwi Victor Solomon Pepramo and Afechachi Katamo no me a known political figures say ni mo say wo mo ye NDC4 wo mo play key role ewo aban mu Agbodakwi GMP semo Chachusi Kata I don't know and the GMP and you could name them say these were key NDC4 almost serve directly under Rollins Amamu aban dane ye susu so my boni a ye de omkogu mu and now from 1992 ye ba the fourth republic be na MPP ni a ye susu se waye boni na oya Ghana ni na mmra so etimidi na kwakotum no aye Chama Wontumi kwan and so far no results so aba no anase goals so apiem nya no aye 11-1 ye kan watem na abusuafo emra na ede Chama Wontumi ekotum no emra efirinfa emra ne ye mra na ewo ho a against say nipa ebeye illegal mining say obi a wo hye illegal miners echi say wo facilitate ye say wo direct ye say wo promote illegal mining no eye mra na eda ho na mra ne da ho ene say ye mpese ye be ma emanfo akohye illegal miners echi empampi no obi a wo ye illegal mining so the excavators some of the heavy duty equipment and that's all many scarecrow to even rent the land aya na edin edia na epoma yempe amrante na ekọ to mo site no ba omo ye hia omo the key actors the kingpins na omo se achi no omo ana ya na amrane epe omo na amrane before na adan kwaku for the ebeba no na efiri o mampeni Rollins ebesi kofuo so ebesi Mons Mahama no ma ye amrane se achi wo saade a yemma mfinhia mienu ana miensa na kodamu na adan kwaku for ebedi Ghana mampeni from 2017 no ano yes one no ede ne presidency ede to ano o person of fight galamsey to ase esebe cost kwase one lose on found and in fact it also cost another because 2020 all the galamsey site omu lose some of the constituency of galamsey site no omu lose all these things na eno another na aban ebe amendment na amendment no ye no eno omu di free say se e chiwo say wo ye campaign so facilitate so promote so direct and ya emrane so mupe yamma wo emfinhia no from 15 to 25 na omusa so ye amendment say wo so wutimi emagi asase e wa ban ho se wo kwa large scale mining na wo reassign emfa ma obi se nipa no onfa ye galamsey because the pentu de omu hu say a man for ebaji in the name of say on be large scale miner no more assign sa no e de ama enkofo bi no mo ye illegal mining omo se wo ye saade na e wo se eba minister no agitum reason say so the minister no minister bi obe revoke o lands because obeje say o de ye small scale o de ye large scale mining wontimi enane emfa ma illegal miners and so no say e ball so a emfinhia poly from edunum to aduonu enum and na nado dan kwaku for the MPP aban government of the day ebe change punishment from 2 to 3 no ediba from 15 to 25 and na chama Wontumi and 10 tan ya wakwa to mu e 10 tan am ono ana manyoku enyo ne ye ede to ho a na ebe boboa ame yakọ ediatia illegal mining no na abusuafo yi and na judgment ne buy no a lot of people are talking about it yeah Chama Wontumi himself no wasn't directly doing an illegal mining. Or no onye galamsey no. Although say na Minister of Lands and Natural Resources ababeka say the mining activities are Akunta mines in the Tano Numri Forest no illegal. Na Samuel Abujinapo ebeka on 30th September 2022 and Samuel Abujinapo, the then Lands and Natural Resources Minister, I never told you, I said, the activities be a course in the Samna Boy Forest, a contaminants there, illegal, and you can't say so. And the Jinaso, I'm at coalition against Galamsey Force, a file petition, a big called presidency, a big called police, a big called the interested people said, I did not air course, say, I was swap for the and Tomusha Mutuasia. And to all read judgment now, mesra mu a mo hwem ne say enne obi atimi kinkan obi ampa judgment bi no kinkan menya ho akwadwe enna me da ho ma kinkan meba be check some of the key enema bi a enema akoso some of enema Chama Wontumi aka contradicted ho meba be check mu nyina abusuafo ase Solo TV mema obi enna ada say sa judgment we ya ba no eye de MPP for the normal ebe normal so make so politics etechi sa so the bra your sentence suppose NDC gangs no omuka say political witch hunting and they said ubeka said even chachuchi kata your sentence no was say odo wanye bonu bia ebro mampeni kofo e man presidential pardon no was so ompe and to person will stay in no fight ma no a why exonerate no because no feel say ade a why na papa yes sentence be mo 4 years 3 years amamo ko bai enti ya ni aye mra enemra so ye ko enim ni review mra no ma hu se MP before ebi kasa Ghana for so kasa na osin ma me Ghana for a omo kasa e dia fa chama Wontumi sentence Ghanaians have reacted to chama Wontumi sentence na ba no abusia for say solid TV Ghana me subscribe on subscribe na comment section comment na mo like page no na enkoba bebre of afen wa join ya transia ya post mortuary of the chama Wontumi judgment manya judgment ma kind of full judgment na aba no ensemi wo ha I was say gibre kwa na set up a date near check the full judgment no and to social no be atiase because we are building a nation, we are not building a political party or we are not building an individual. Abusa for me ko say Ghana for reaction to judgment.
Me can fact say e pa say ye give me 20 years. They say Ghana no MPP ni NDC omo di yewu. E NDC ni nenso me ka so omo di yewu. Just say aban we ba onu say we be ye we oba we so be ye we. Nti sa ade no mama ade nti ma Ghana for to aba man 2024 and say omo hu say MPP omo di Ghana man nti Ghana for hu say and say pam MPP for free ho na mama omo sad ne ba back na obeji Ghana for ye sika MPP for adi no e ma ye ene yensuo a galamsey omo di ase no no e say ohwe na o siesie no de ma ye
e to asomo ni nyina ne say de aban ayi ebe ensa na ho amoman kan na samayefo be di akonwa no so a de ye pe ne ye isi ya MPP ti NDC but the same time nti e basa na e ma obi kodi tumi bia ne ni beda ho na wa form sika no anye de o se wo foye the media premise de me pen sambo na enye nsa na ho ma o man ti asaman Ghana o so man yin na ye de a ba ko fu be fu o sika sa na se yanka hwe a o ma ne sei ti no o ma Ghana no aye pasasa na ne man timi nkuyi no ti e premise me de me ditum
okay e wo say enipa bia eye di yo man na emu sem no but judgment ni dey ano dey dodo yes stress o man pani betumi abamu na o ko ye bi be bo man no because against that chinchirima e be da ho we be yes na be da ho am man na da chin o ababu pro be free so ababu pro so ba obi be ka so obi bi dia tia no ti e be sere o mo hwe na temu no mo tsuma ye ne fa tu bi mu no man no
se e mamla e adwuma because oman wo na se mla nya adwuma dia na je se oman no akasefo no be mene ye nketewa no nti e se mamla ye adwuma wo be ye mistake a mla bi e be chichiru bia na mamla ni enim nti chama Wontumi se for the say nyina ye dia Ghana nyina ya japade no kwantimi di ni tum ko hye ho e say for the say nsuo say asase na ode hwe ne hu ye e wo man no mu na se mla ni na didi a to me de me hu say 20 years no kra no aban di bibi a che no kakra ho saka e jompo ko enim na ode ya sua asema ma nkaefo na e wo eche nse o man ajapade ye nse no
Ghana for say isi ya no Wontumi efi ho no ana say Wontumi fi efi ho no obia entu galamsey ho ana ena ono kwa na isi ya na we speak good to ya chin isi ya dia ye asuade no ma omo ye ho no si aye omo de
na se me kan fa ho ne say eye pa say ye give me 20 years e say Ghana no
yanko
me say chama Wontumi o deserve say odam san say mo say abaya bra galamsey ba wa abam Wontumi de god baba to radio station someone shy who say o bobroni bi oni bi kwara galamsey na ma che no ma jeli no why opening no as o deserve so mama 30 years 20 years no kuresha I saw them for 30 years sana as odam o kumnipa onkumnipa ahu onkumnipa na awoka no enkwa ma blofo na ye chu omo ye jeli omo do mo kumnipa president yaden
ogre
ni wo
is you say 20 years ni omo nya 30
omo ma 30 esa bia o ya na nye wo ma bra enkwala nkwa fo ma kwa na wakwachi omo but wa ya penin no wo dia wo ye ho adwuma be a company bebre. And a man for what's the gun and so a man for sale. And so I'm coming on match now. What happened? Who stands for? I don't know them crying and chum.
Oh, great. Casman, they get tired. That's it.
Ah, let's me down.
Yanko.
Ah, let's say, Etama Wontumi, or deserve say, or them. San say, most abaya bra, that I'm saying. Bawa, bam, who make the God Baba to radio station. Someone shy, who will say, or Bob Ronnie be only be quiet, and I'm saying, no matter, no matter, why opening? I saw this ever some money 30 years, 20 years in the Croatia. I saw them for 30 years. Sana, I saw them. What come nipa?
Ediama Ghana for the Galamsey campings. Amomatimi, actual ho afri bone ho. Na the omu nyina say, Chama Wontumi lawyer and the appeal could be and nano pensiono wa grant interview on OKFM. Now I can't say mebre e dia fa wuri no wa kire die ntia e got your point ya na ono kwampo no e wo say wo twe ne ho edifuru ho enkomo a Chama Wontumi ni di ye say woni onye police woni ema wo say e got your point no hu say ase ono the environment na assembly na e got kwampo ase no ono no omo de ono ho ahi na omo edi asamati a Chama Wontumi ye busa ne say na lawyer attach so no nipa wo nim so akwakoso ade mu na ye ba be ma judgment na wa firi hu e de asem so ana o ka no so o eno de sebi o ntimi kan no nim de akoso na omo de ade na akoso de enya asempa ye nkwa tie lawyer and the appeal ku bi emra ye ba mepese ye be ko judgment no na eniema bi a e wo judgment bi no ya hwe it got your point here. There were lots of contradiction. In fact, say a ba say na omo cross examine omo no Chama Wontumi and na contamines and afin so no the witnesses are omo from no Chama Wontumi say one no the assassin ma omo say omo claim assassin no omo nua kube omo claim wi omo nua kube ana kwa say dabi me ba wo Chama Wontumi ho ebesre wo say me pese me kokoye illegal mine wo so ana wo de ma me na wo krampo ana wutua excavator sika wona achem ba bia me nkofa excavator temfa nko wona wo chiro krata emam ko ma Western Regional Security Council at Reseg no say o mo mame security protection ana o musa say na reclamation na ne boarding enti wo ye dey wo ko say asase na obi anya wabusuani beba so me pese me ko reclaim asase no na me am say dua kube na kube ni nyini a ya teni a cheso emfaso anajo man asembe na che sade we kube ne boye sen na bi na course of say we claim asase 1 acre na wo wie wadua kube say kube no ebedi 2 years ebedi 3 years na wo na ko claim asase what the justification say ebi kura kube ba beto entin ase eniema bi enkoso wo say ana Chama Wontumi say on de wamfa asase amane say onfa nkoye small scale man ana say Chama Wontumi then also the asase man nipa so onye reclamation wa bo bi pa usi ho ekohwe ana Chama Wontumi say me mansuo abusan for momien ko tie lawyer and the appeal ku bi emra
ha de mo pese mo ye no na wa twe ho fi ho na obi obetimi ya better and obetimi anya better environment no adapt na me de ti a me up to this na me who say me person as I in the court no probably na a very conducive environment the betimi person justice na emotionally court until I mean the well no say if you me who he be try obi a and let me stay out
I cancel so kasa wo hia na ye hwan the trial judge na wo ye ne hi ana nipa bi ana wo asem emu nkyeremu ni sai
court no nipa we be constitutional court ni nyina no kasa mu a be a court environment no and no we only say because not personality crisis warranty. A better civilian, a better environment, in our pursuit of justice. Anything I'm not to us, yes, I mean, instead, Mr. Evidence and Kupanda will be. Meaning now, including even the address of the family. Anything, Opia person can be the Abetina can be. Now, Opia, we get why a crowd can be. But who was instead a best judgment?
Okay,
Today's judgment was subjected to further tests. Naming said, in Pabwa, Mibuan said, you're quite anymore. You a better environment. Pursue justice. Meaning condone wrongdoing. But
Papa, a better environment, you know. When you're young and town court, into better environment, you know. Environment not a day. Na any day, pa, na emwa, and I'm wasing you.
Kwame, maybe no Nikubu, your a specific environment, I am yes, sir.
I'm a cheer.
And you say, yes, yes, Nikubu, and I said you, Casatin Kwan, and make a slower environment in your you know, Kada,
oh, there be.
If you can say, you're walking through some of the judgment, you know. You're saying, Bobo Biswa. We said, Osha was saying, in the Superior Court of Judicature, in the High Courts of Justice, Criminal Court 4, held in Accra on Monday, the 20th of July, 2026. Before her ladyship, Justice Audrey Kukuvi, Tay, Justice of the High Court, and a case number CR004 2026. I was saying the Republic versus Bernard Antwi Bosiako Wontumi Kwame Antwi at large, and a Akonta Mining Limited. Kwame Antwi ni ye se woni chama Wontumi ekoro isa campaign ni 2010 no, and na ode no papa wo kan wura. E no na me ka asem bia che say eye Ghana fosu Ghanaians per se de bia the campaign ono kwa ne dia enti bi otimi kofa na busuani bi na di bi ore say no ano no enti saa da busuani no on pese o de beto ama na busa na o say wodwane minim no enti saa de koye na wutie judgment o say the accused person are company A3 and 2 gentlemen alleged to be 8 shareholders and directors. They were arraigned on 7th October 2025 for the following offenses. Not just say court to assembly there or a domo ba court to 7th October 2025 and account 1 or saying statement of offense or saying the assignment of a mineral right without approval contrary to section 14(1) and section 99(2)(b) of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703 as amended by section 3 of the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2019, Act 995. Like I said, because count 1 no, kwa do ya de obo omo no say, omo de omo to omo atumi mu e de asase a omo kwaji firi aban mu e sa de koma obi a etia oman ne mra omo quote portions of the law a omo eye emra no e omo san ye amendment no omo bobo ni nyina so from 2006 to 2019 and o say utia o say particular offense in enie was it Bernard Antwi Bosiako Eliachama Wontumi as at that time no di 49 years old entrepreneur that you in the year 2024 in Samna Boy in the Western region and within the jurisdiction of this court, being the owner and controlling director of Akonta Mining Company Limited without first obtaining the prior written approval of the minister, permits Henry Okum and Michael Jedu Aisi to undertake a mining operation within the mining concession which was granted to the said Akunta Mining Limited only. Or say, Chama Wontumi, we are Bangalore, our chief executive officer of Akunta Mine. Almost say, sir, court, ebetima transam so. Or say, wo, Vincia, Aduonu, and 2024 no. Or say, oh, Chama Wontumi, what do you to me so? At the assassin of Quajin, a buying was said, oh, the barber, large scale mine no. At the command, man for say, or when you're mining, a bra not or swap for our share, sass one semso, and mau to me now, and mau cratabia, and I would de assassin, a Daniel Che, at the ma one Henry Okum, and a fence no, market Jedu, at the quadu bakwan, yet it in tam no, and account two, a statement of offense, as you was saying, assignment of mineral right without approval. Contrary to the section 14, and medical bubble. So, was it particular offense? Kwame entry at large that you, like I said, sa kwa do no model Chama Wontumi, sa kwa do kwa no model boss, sa Kwame entry in this one. One so yes, what to you? And Tianqua country no, as I was saying, statement of offense, assignment of right without approval, contrary to the section. And that's why the Massa Bobo so that particular offense in any Akunta Mining Company Limited that you in the year 2024 and also and said apart from Chama Wontumi any sa anfina also aton euro no Akunta Mines so no almost omudi na asem because see a case no between Akunta Mines and the two shareholders Chama Wontumi and Kwame Antwi and also and omudi abom no. Na oba say ya I say na menka de say omo a police for ekwachi omo e wa asase no so no omo ebedi adanse na adanse na omo de o say jedu ayisi to undertake a mining operation within the concession which was granted to you na ke say sa exam de bom na can phone ni o say can phone as o say statement of offense purposely facilitating an unlicensed mining operation contrary to the section 992B of the Minerals and Mining Act 206 and also the same thing. Now, so the particular offense was saying Bernard Anchubo Siakun alias Chama Wontumi 49 years old, entrepreneur, obviously that you in the year 2024 in Samrabo in the Western region within the jurisdiction of this court, being the owner and the controlling director of Akunta Mining Company Limited, did purposely facilitate Henry Okum and Michael Jedu Aisi 2 without a license granted by the minister undertake a mining operation within mining concession which was granted to the said Akunta Mining Company Limited. And we say so a quality fufra a different from the earlier quality. Say I say so first one on quality say was so echo Charles Asono Edma Henry Oku any Jedu you say womo enya man e bra no swafo no ema womo tumi krata but where do you say what facilitate or boy and you say ena kwanya excavators ene niema ekopie asase no so no e ba bedadi and that is the count this account na so omo de bebo make I say antwinu na omo san so eda abo Akunta Mines na baabi a asem no ewo enso enie baabi omo start asem no was say upon interrogations ha say na case na kata mo me enko yakodo was say upon interrogations Michael Jedu alias Michael Jedu Aisi identify another man Henry Okum and the bro moto to ano no na Michael Aisi no enso ekobo Henry Okum din as his employer who had assigned him to supervise mining activities on the concession. Michael Jedu Aisi further stated that As part of their mining activity, he and his fellow employees undertook land reclamation as part of the concession that had been devastated while mining the unmined portion of the land. The Ekobadi Yansen, Michael Jadunu, ano opposed for Equachi the site war. Ano no Baba Deba to just say, or no dear, or your pani, na the born pa, and I say, you know, your friend Henry Okum. Now, Henry Okum, and I ever found or no say 1 year supervision, and then supervisor. Na nipa wodo ma ba so me ye adwuma no e wo plot so no na adwuma na so mo ye de say ba bia o ma didi mu no la so ma didi asase di emu sika kokko ni nya no wo mo nye land reclamation na ba bia forest na yem for ensankan no o mo nye mine e wo ho. That is quite asama akwa na ebekan e wo ho. And was saying Henry Okum was subsequently arrested and cautioned. And to her, and my kwache, the employer no, Henry Okum was in. During interrogation, Henry Okum told the police that sometime in September 2024, he had an arrangement with the first accused. The first accused, I said, Chama Wontumi, under which the first accused person allowed him to enter the third accused concession. That is Akuntamans. That's the third accused. Because the first accused, Wontumi. The second accused, Kwame Anchine Wojano. And the third accused, Akuntamans. Concession to mine for gold because he was under the impression that the said concession belongs to the first accused. Was it? One of the Ono Henry na eche no Okum no eche me ba che no one de one Chama Wontumi ekodi nkomo ana Chama Wontumi e de asase no e man asase a na ye Akunta Mines Company Limited no ono akwaja asase so do ba ye large scale mine no ana Chama Wontumi e de asase man efise no se Akunta Mines no e ye ono Chama Wontumi e dia. So abusuafo judgment ani edwom kakra no. And to bet my comment section on a ade yankan usu nim no so e de atuja. Was saying investigation established that Henry Okum and his employee Michael Jadu IC and the 28 others undertook the mining and land reclamation activity in the third accused concession with the permission of the first accused. Without the first accused, either on his behalf or on his behalf of the third accused, obtaining the statutory mandated prior approval of the minister responsible for lands and natural resources. I want to say, bra omo koso etuto manu no, ana owura ye fe no Henry Okum, ene n'adwuma efo. Najuma for that is Michael Jadu and a nipa bi o maka no ebeda di say omo no de enye Chama Wontumi and the asase ne ema wo mo one ne second accused and the third accused na enkomo de enkomo ntimi nkosi asase omo ye man concession bia entinu omo de omo timi be ye ya na Chama Wontumi and na kunta man de man na eno ne omo che say ebra na omo de asase de ma omo say omo mfanye man no na enya dia na the minister for lands and natural resources no ede ehon kratasem bia mom was saying at the trial the republic called for witnesses in all and close it case. These witnesses are Michael Jadu IC PW1, that is prosecuting witness 1, and Henry Okum also PW2, prosecuting witness 2, and Chief Inspector Safo Asiedu Kwesi PW3, and Joseph Aruko PW4. Now saying, on other hands, the first accused person testified on his own behalf and on behalf of the third accused. The offense the defense then called the following person as witnesses: Wisdom Adam Gamoshi, DW1, George Mrekuduka, DW2, George Mrekuduka. Mobaka no ye former deputy minister for lands and natural resources. Yeah, I stand to be corrected. And Kwabena Ochere Daku Mensa, DW2, also no ye Western Regional Minister. And the American bone dini, I'm saying about interministerial mind or something like that. And about for deputy minister for land natural resources. Now the Abukoban said, Chama Wontumi ebeji tumu say, one eba be dia dance no. Ewo no ani dimu. Na wasan so dia dance no. Ewo akunta mines so edimu. Sorry, oba be twitwa age ne ho. Na wasan twitwa so age akunta mines because sa kwa me antwi de on the waton room. Is at large. And the ebesi ye no, and to say a dance ya or mine a frey no. Apart from say or mo frey Michael Jedu. Ah, one na was on the or say or pani add the pa for no aye henu okum no. And some chief inspector no. Or mo san so frey the Western Regional Minister. And mo san so a frey men can say the Mrekuduka. Me you have in the position and I'm cast almost friend the deputy no obido no wura bi so ya adwuma say mineral commission also almost friend no ana almost a free assembly na say na utia was say the laws on burden and standard of proof and on match ma quote say before say bet maka say nipa sumasi we ade na bono akwa kosi say omo quote emra no asem ni omadie emfato ho onse bia se emfato na ma prison nia ho emfato ho ewo ho anom kotu ni na edi janso ebra na omo edi asem no abusuafo ha sei eye solid tv Ghana chama Wontumi ni judgment ani anya bia ye hwehwedwemu ama so de wate ase obi o ha bia ye ne eye ni se ya ofili comfortable obi o so a se wo jama so ono nkwa enkokan a aya na reading ebi o ha na se bi ekwadwo sem kakra o enu nti ane atra de fi se bia yeso ye betimi adwumu edi ama no enti wo fi se bia bibi eka mu a bia ya nka so a wo so betimi akọ comment section now so akọtro o comments feel free ma wo se me nua ba adwoa aba be kan se mi oye entitled to ne comment ye de ya transfer judgment no ane ne Ghana for chirechire mu. Okay, and after yanko ensem no enso na yehwe baibia susan ede body ho no ebefa ha say eye solid tv ye tren konya so a na eye ensem no ane na me pese me enjampo enko bebo say me pe baibia na o ye cross examinations no eho because I don't ewa baibia na o ye cross examination eho na obetete ensem because baibia o mo quote articles no and then some demand a common law. I said, no more quote, the parliament, the Mresabija fear, and Kakra was say, we will jump or say, consideration of the evidence and the element of offenses charge, or say, the charge sheet contained two main offenses, namely, assignment of mineral right without approval or say kwadu na yede bo mo no de di kan say sa mo no mode mutumi so enso no assign asase no ama omo say omonye mining without the approval from the authority and purposely facilitating an unlicensed mine operation someone so edi mutumi so tai chire eboa amoma kwakoye man na ebra na omuni tumi and we say the court will analyze the evidence and the element of these offenses in terms and in respect of each accused person and the court to the other court and say e was say kwadu na ye de bo mo emu adansefo ene omo ba beboa ama asem ni na koso no and na court be gina na omo abobu eho na yentie ensem bi e wo ha sei omo ekutu the emra amendment any court no can nsem was absence of mineral approval Okay, mami can yeah, I say the law seems to be clear on the point that a mineral right holder may not, without the approval of the minister, carry out any of the prohibited acts in section 14.1 of the Act 703. I say emrana no church mu no be 2005 na de na I say okay questions be anybody say it is to your knowledge that mining rights are transferred under the law Minerals and Mining Act 2007 Act 703 as amended. And I say yes, my lady, they are transferable subjected to ministerial approval. Nete chama Wontumi ono mbusa na say wonim say what this act no e was say so obetimi aye transfer e was say oye abra na Oswafo no approve and say yes PM and I say judge minim sad and a question about say team was say in the event that a license holder want to transfer his interest who will file the application to the ministry to initiate such transfer the holder of the mineral right was it here question in it was saying in your records at the Mineral Commission, do you have any such application by A3 that evidence? And was say not to my knowledge, meaning was say and was it I want to put it to you straight that A3 has never applied for a transfer of their interest in the set land in Samra Boy and Abekwase company has not done that. And I say, no, my lady, they never applied. Like I said, akontamans any chama Wontumi. O man fa krata seb kwabo amfa nkoto minister na nim say o mo kwampo no o mo pese o mo ya assignment anas o mo facilitate o mo purposely facilitate sa eniema we ede ema meka say sa nkofo no mo ka say o mo enko no was it dealing with minerals rights and o mo bobo eniema minerals no act ne niema medical bobo ni nyina so akirem entini yenkom ne enkope baabi a ensem ne guo no na baabi wo ha utimi tie say edu baabi ni kwapo no na question bu ana papa entimi answer was saying further cross examination PW2 provided further testimony to consolidate his trade and livelihood. The following conversation issued between him and the counsel for the first and third accused. Was it in your witness statement, paragraph 1, you indicated that you are a small-scale miner. How long have you been a small-scale miner? And I say, I have been a small-scale miner for about 7 years. Not just say, Sir Henry, any Henry Oku, any Jedu Aisi, and Ebuso or Masem. And I say, no, why you for 7 years? I say, have you obtained any license for your activities as a small-scale miner? And I say, yes. And I say, when did you obtain this license? And I say, I obtained this license in 2017. Not 2017, no, was it must be mentioned that, however, that the first accused had told this court that he did not know the PW2 was a small-scale miner at all. He tells the court that PW2 represented to him the first accused that he is a mine support service provider. The first accused, however, led no evidence to show that he never required into the validity of the presentation. And he had said, and the chama Wontumi, and now say, witnesses no, ebo chama Wontumi na to tie. Yebusa, omo chama Wontumi ede concession ne ma omo, onya konta ma de concession ma omo say, na mo ye small scale mine, and omo say yes. And I said, yeah, now nim fa ho, and so eduma ya ache. And obusa say, na mo wo krata efiri aban mu e che say, mo ye small scale man, and say ane. And I say mo jeni da be, and o jeni, o say jeni 2017. Ba wutie chama Wontumi a, chama Wontumi so ebe kan say, sa PW2 and PW1 no. That PW2 no, that is nipa na wodi adwuma no man na wonu kwa employ Henry Okum no. O say oba chama Wontumi o say we mine support person and one de asase ne man ne say on konkoye land reclamation wo akotu galam say wie na obi a wonimu onya o maame ba onya papa na o hia so wo akotu galam say wo didi mu wonya musika ukọ media me kwa akokata amena no so na madua kube no se be take 10 years say 5 years say 2 years ana be so a matiti kube no aton 10 series esa de mfaso na bana me ne wo ache sa na dwuma na sema chama Wontumi ekoka ne court abusuafo ye cheche nsem no e ya dam so mo de mo comment section atba na mo e bia the American e you also read it a different from the American na so kwa akwocho no ho. Secondly, Theo, land reclamation is costly. In fact, according to DW1, professional mining engineers who testify for the first and the third accused person reclaiming mine lands cost money. DW1 confirmed this during cross examination by the Deputy Attorney General. DW1 from the Lands and Natural Resource Ministry and the Mineral Commission and what the Bible to just say CSOB ascend Sase and Sase ascend yes land reclamations no dia ni boarding papa now wo to wo ne wakonta mines the first accused and third accused second they were done makwa akotu mu gold ababe yi gold o TV so say we yi bi ko Wontumi esa akọ metro TV Paul Adomachire esa akọ yi bi ana wo de wo wie ade ane boarding na beka the PW 3 no 2 no ababe hia kan che wo say me do me pese me kwa land reclamation de ma e che free abusuafo anajo man na same way enfa ane e ka no tie questions they pie mu or say questions they be or say in your expert opinion does it cost money to claim mine land and sorry DW2 was it DW was it definitely was it tell the court if you know how much does it cost to generally reclaim 1 kilometer square piece of land and I said my lady it differ from site to site. And I say, Obusan say, now was say ne boarding, and I say this can ya ne boarding. I was saying, Ubetimi a catch quartry. A boa a dasso say, we are waging say Ube claiming 1 acre of land. And I say, Mura, I didn't hear it differs. Like say, as you see a woman, be a sassy buana yabotan, a buana yabo, a buana. Ebu akwapa na eyenusini was it the range is specific on the grounds condition shela because was say eya na nhye na eye enema because bi unkotu asase be sa ase ne ebia London na bi obusu ntu be sa ase ne ebia na bi America na obi ntu be sa ase na Australia na onka se ni nyabo ede eye pe enti abusuafo yi ase solid TV I didn't na ye nyina ye cheche mu no menye lawyer also nye lawyer but ye de battery kasa ebia tema meka bia mantiman kari ya na so de oba be cheche mu bia so atwe no comment o say after na questions na nie say na DW1 na da so gina mo DW1 omo ye Juma either as mineral commission, lands and natural resources, and now first the Western Region Minister. Omo back DW1, back DW2, back DW1 and Ojinamun. And what's the question? Do you know, since you are so confident in your witness statement that A1 only authorized PW2 to carry out reclamation only and not mining and reclamation? If A1 has been giving money to PW2 for reclamation, what has that he has asked PW2 to carry out on the concession? Here we be mekudika ne be di sa dance we, because also be di dance say di onimni say chama Wontumi e di asase ne e ma no say omra emeye reclamation na wanka so omma meye ometu galamse so party. And was say, I have no idea about that. And was say, now I say, I dance here, I say, okay. Then unim say, o man sika say, o memetu asase no. Now on sign reclaim no so there be me there be nimsa. And was say, I have no idea. And was saying, meanwhile, in his witness statement, PW2 told this court that the first accused person did not give him any money or fund to carry out land reclamation in paragraph 3, PW stated. And was saying, Nipa na oka sa asem no wadi kan so akana say akire court no say enya ade a Chama Wontumi, that the first accused no every sika bi e man say one fa and I said near be the man say one fa enko reclaim asase no. Was say A1 I agree that I mind on the unmined portion of the concession. He also agreed that we claim the portion of the land which had previously mined by planting coconuts seedlings thereon. Was say Chama Wontumi etiasie se baabi a akonta mines na ba meka samna bo forest na akonta mines no ewo tumi se omekọ akoye galamsey no otiasie sorry omekọ akoye light scale mine otiasie se baabi a omonyanye mine no memkoye mine na baabi omaye mine ne de menko katas amena no na mindua kube ewo ho. Was say A1 did not give me any money to do the reclamation works as I was expecting to use a portion of the proceeds from my mining activities on the unmined portion of the concession to defray the cost of the reclamation. And was say and nam say wa mama sika no and she say ya me ne ye and say sika menya free baabia aye sam na moy forest na akonta mining e work to me kata do me light scale mining no sika be benya no memfa bi emfa nya reclamation or baabia no modidi asase no cross examination the papa was say in paragraph 6 of his witness statement, PW2 further stated that I found the reclamation work using proceeds from the mining operation on the concession. A1 was fully aware of the facts. Or say, ma start a reclamation. Sika me de ball kaya reclamation bi akube no. Ayeba sika me nya free baabi a na me ye mining no. Enti enchechemu ade e ho no. Enti utia PW1 was not cross examined on this critical piece of evidence. Neither did the first accused put before this court any evidence to show that he had advanced money to PW1 to fund the reclamation. Was I say no? Chama Wontumi anye na adwene say obatoto na no anase bia so wantimi ama nyinaso bia say me wadanse eche say me man sika say one fan reclamation no. Was it that PW has maintained throughout the trial that the first accused had permitted him to do two things. Was it na make can say PW2 nipa na ye de adwuma man no one do jana search ama Wontumi e de assassin man say one didi onye galamsey fa anata onye man fa na on fa sika no so no de enua ekube na de ade. Na question was saying, were you able to extract some gold in your operations? You busa no say wotimi enya gold awo adwuma no na say yes of course. Na kwa unim. Yes of course that unim. Menya gold. And that was my aim of going there. Menya gold. Na butante amene ko ateme ko otu asase no na manya sika. I was saying, and when your staff were arrested from the site, they took away some amount of gold. Is that correct? I don't say yes, my lord. I don't say a better post for the call. A quache, what you were for. A post for any gold be a free what you were for. I say, I'm Mira, and okay. Mammy, and okay. Yes. I was saying the judge in the case was say, and as a judgment can say, the nagging question at this stage, following from this testimony is why any person of sound mind would volunteer to claim a tract of land deep in the forest that has already been mined by another at others' own cost and no cost to that other. More intriguing is that this person alleged to have offered his service gratuitously is a small scale miner with no previous experience in land reclamation, assuming without. I say, Anna Emrad, and I say, judgment, say, and some questions I beg for answers, and they say, Utia, a better day, and I said, you obi or trash, I will assist. One year obia, a bet my cassette, one forest beer, a double be some me to Kumasi. No matter what dear man will say forest be a friend of Samana Boy Forest. I had discovered in 1940, and I can want some child. Obi akwa kalam akwa large scale mining ewo aja forest no ho ana me pese me ba ebe kata so abra me nya sika bia ana wo se de ewo mu kwa ehu ekra na se kese etwetwe aso ekra na se wona wo se akwa no wonim se wo onye mining onye small scale miner wo chama Wontumi se onim so small scale miner na nipa onye small scale miner no suahunu bay ana owo eba se ye be kata asase so na ahonde bay na owo se onu betimi akwa mfidie ene wo de bulldozer ene sa pillover ne hwanwan no Wontumi enso afa ko Wontumi ntwi na de ato low bed so e de afri kuma so de afri se Western Radio Kropom e de akọ Samra boy ho papa bay sa ko for Christmas ana enti ho na ase questions bi ono say without admitting that a person of sound mind would even agree to enter an alleged agreement. What say obia na adwene da form na adwene wo fie omo dam abe na adwene say me sorry obia sa se what to do me ko han excavators me ko han fidie e dia kwa asase no so kata asase no so na me only ani da so no say me dua kube na kube ni ba me na asase wo na te ache. Was it PW1 has expressly, emphatically, and consistently refuted that claim that he ever agreed to it. Was it PW2? nipa na one obeje asase oye small scale man was say wanya ntum da. Having rejected that allegation, the burden rests on the first accused person to lead evidence on the probability to show that PW2 had agreed to the alleged agreement. No such evidence was, however, led in this case. Or say, akwani din si kanta chama Wontumi. Na me mabodam pa say, mabusu afie wo ho, mabusu afo ho. Na wo akwa ye small scale mining, large scale mining. Na waja asase no. Na me dia me se me Father Christmas, me baba side we. Enti no, eba sawie no. Na was the first accused chama Wontumi. A wo gina mu ama ne ho asagyan ma akontama that the third accused no. Eba ede evidence one afede na esudi aba dan so say wono ede supporting evidence ebeba aba kire court no say oboa me bone pa anase oba me ye nkrata oba me ne ye say onko agya tum so onko akata me na no so na wodua kuba me ache ananse me man sika se onfa nkoye saade no ananse me hand machines adema no na afede aba beto chama Wontumi say ono ebeye saade no obe prove saade no chama Wontumi entimi am prove saade no abusiafo asi eye solid tv ko comment section wono eye judgment no an ye dwuwa mo nyi ni say ebia ewa ye betimi awie nsisia wo say on the strength of the evidence the court holds that this is a proper case in which the circumstantial evidence will apply and does apply. Was it here and some call any dia? Now said the now say court ni jan na so. Na adanse ene mrakwan so adanse manfo e dia ba no. Na so mo di adwuma, no mo di adwuma. What does on the basis of the circumstance outlined above, this court is satisfied that no reasonable explanation exists to rival the conclusion that the first accused person indeed permitted and indeed expected PW2 to fund the reclamation which he, the first accused person, had permitted PW1 to carry out from the proceeds of PW2 illegal mining activities carried out in the third accused concession. Or say, after we do one, now tie the sana for the court no, abegye tum, abegye di say, aye PW2 na some waka no. Any the accused person, first accused person no, no. Now baba nyina so say, in fact, first accused person no, etiase say PW2 omowura concession na ye kwaji ne ewo de emeka accused person 3 ni dimu na onkoye mining na onfa emameye omekata asase no so na kete ho no omaje atum was illegal mining activities carried out in the third accused concession. This court found that the first accused person subsequent explanation that he had expected PW2 to recover the cost of the exclamation from the future sales of the nature coconut can only be and is an afterthought. Was it? Emia beji di say asema chama Wontumi kan say was say akwa no enko kata amena no na onua kube na kube ni ni a oma chara bunu abusa no aya adwe chama Wontumi dwe na chire na kura bi anim ana ha say a mobile courtee as I say holder of the mineral right was SBG and okaka ni na ene de eye ba bia na me pe no eye ensem no akasa no he oma kotu emra na bebre wo ha ebi wo ha was again in Moko verse Kuma ekese se me kan ye no ebi wo ha na omo de case bia omo di on this omo de aba be ye mfato ama wo na agyan hu se da bi anya won kwa no mo didi e BSc omo dey have a case study and also say where does he live A2 no saying he was living at Takwa but between the year 2021 and 2022 he made his mind to travel. Since then I have not heard from him. Okay. And like I say, now you know, the counterpart no busa no asem. And I say, how are you related to this Kwame Antwi? Omusa say Kwame Antwi no. I am fan what no so. Now what Takwa na free 2021 to 2022 no. And when I so be to Kwame free on 10 nka biem. The chairman want to be kafa Kwame Antwi no. I say we are directors of Akunta mining company. No say unim ni say or say na unim no so ye nyina no ye na directors of Akunta man. No say tell the court the last time you as a director of Akunta mining company limited filed your annual returns with the office of the registry of company. No say my lady, I cannot remember. Hey, emre wo mu say was say of Akunta mines for no directors no omo madwuma ko no omo file omo returns with the office of the registry of company no brother ye na chama on kai like onya bi kura I don't remember enti mo a judgment na ba na mo say artificial judgment de no muntie ha nipa wo ye adwuma you don't even file your returns with the Registrar General Department. And I say and busa the kwado oyi anu na court no stand omo de about say this response gives a clear indication of the corporate governance culture at the third accused. First they show that the third accused did not have a functional board of directors. At the time the alleged act, or say, court no can say, we say me nyina so their ka anasa fa anasa hu so kwanya companies bi fa so run no that's the Akunta mines wo man yi mu because board of directors omo functions enya adwuma wa say ekwa fare e we say they also suggest that the first accused person alone at least from 2021 to 2022 was the controlling mind and hand of the third accused. In fact, SBG was issued in the name of the third accused at the time when the first accused was only mind and hand of the third accused. I say, I don't say my friend SBG. What's it? We say from 2021 to 2022 the chama Wontumi ka say Kwame Chitu kwa no Akunta man sensem bia no chama Wontumi na jebo no bo an wo ye enti adanse bi kra ba ho a am say krata na you can say owura Henry Okum e kan say chama Wontumi kra chode koma the regional security so omonfa e mon ho ban no wo say chama Wontumi na sign because a company a working company be a secretary ne besan but can say first accused bangrora on the sign was it further the alleged act which are the subject of the offense are stated to be have occurred in the year 2024 and 2025. This testimony is significant in that it leaves the first accused alone as the sole controlling mind and hand of the third accused at all at times material. I say Osha Bonia say akoso ya esi between 2024 in 2025. And a Chama Wontumi, the first accused was Ashabadi Adansi say, Omu register a campaign no 2010 no 2021 2022 ana Kwame Ntwiru kwan. Enti Adansi kyerɛ sɛ efi 2024 to 2025 no boni bi course no ɛyɛ Chama Wontumi nkwa ana boni de course. Was secondly, the evidence on record shows that much of the first accused conduct in relation to the third accused was undocumented and did not reflect regular corporate governance. Was it bibia di adanse say Chama Wontumi bibia oye bia nkanta semunim and ana enya anamompa ebasi ye corporate governance. What's it? The first accused and the third accused person called 5 witnesses, including the first accused in his trial. 4 of the 5 witnesses, including the first accused, have testified that the first accused did not put his dealing with PW2 into writing. Yes, offer a dance here for a mobile. Na bibia di adanse ese Chama Wontumi wa nya atwerɛtwerɛ adwuma bia. Was indeed all these witnesses, including the first accused himself, sought to cite lack of documentation of the first accused dealing with PW2 as a defense to the charges. What the BHS say? Chama Wontumi enu henu okumni de omana montuo omunkita ahodie no aya no babaye adanse bia de enim. For instance, the instance discourse partly took place between the Deputy Attorney General and the DBO through cross-examination. Until Anna cross-examination was saying, for an expert who is interested in drawing a distinction between written and unwritten legal instrument and contract, did you find out if A1 permission to PW2 to go and conduct a reclamation on the concession was in a written or not? Like I said, a cross-examination and no more yet, baby, my lady, I humbly reiterated that my point that the criminal charges is based on assignments, and respectfully, I have indicated that a verbal communication between PW1 and A1 does not constitute an assignment. Utia, the lawyer or defender said, Attorney General Busa Chama Wontumi lawyer, and so I'm considering that now I'm said a brother farm Abdul now say until people say or client they say on no and PW1 no ye omuye nkrata sembi and also make asama ye dia say no as a real assignment no na and the nkrata sembi ani on the bra man on the bomb crash on and same circle and yamra say there was questions be was saying further PW1 testified that he knew the third accused person as the first accused. Was it Henry Okumni say or no dear onim say akunta manson Chama Wontumi. Had they who know say or say Tio what a further PW2 Henry Okumni say testified that he knew the third accused person. Third accused was saying akunta manson as the first accused. I say materially, more particularly, this conversation transpired between PW2 and counsel for the first accused and third accused during cross-examination. Or say, Chama Wontumi lawyer, Ebusa Henry Okumni say, na akunta manzo, me akunta manzo, minima akunta manzo. chama unti na mko no so akunta man se me dia tibra mi say akunta man chama unti bi say akunta man anti ebra no o say do you know A1 Kwame Antwi no so ana obusa no okobusa chama unti lawyer na ebusa Henry say onim Kwame Antwi that is the also adwan no say no I don't know him. How do you know A3 akunta man company limited ana say unim akunta man say no so tie I know Akunta Mining Company, which is Chama Wontumi. He happens to be my friend. Or say, maybe who Akunta Mining say, but I'm who Chama Wontumi or Madam Fu. How long have you known Akunta Mining Company Limited? And I say, I know Akunta Mines for quite some time. And I say, at this court understand from these answers and PW evidence in chief is that he PW2 approached the first accused person Chama Wontumi to him. The first accused is the third accused. This confirms by the first accused own testimony in paragraph 7 of this witnesses' statements. And in that statement, the first accused stated that, or say, the court say, Utie asama yebusa Henry Okumna wana asama o kan say one dey Chama Wontumi no nim no ana Chama Wontumi so ana akunta manse ne eye ne dia anti court no say we say no so no eba hyemu kena asama Chama Wontumi ekado ewo paragraph 7 that sometime in October 2024 one Henry Okum approached me and expressed a desire to undertake land reclamation work on portion of A3 mining concession at Samrabo. Shemu ka say Chama Wontumi e kan our paragraph 3 say owura Okum no e ba ne che say sa mining na ono akodi dibu no opese oba ebeye reclamation next day akwa no na asem kan say onde onim Chama Wontumi say akonta mines no. And say Mr. Okum represented to me that he was experienced in land reclamation and the paragraph 7 no ana ojujumu e dey acheme ana questions now saying did you receive any permission from Akunta Mines Company Limited at this point? I indeed to explain to you that A3 is not the same as A2. I say your questions are Chama Wontumi lawyer no busa A3 no say I said I do not understand, but when you go to Samra Boy no nobody's know Akunta hey no busan ko busan question bi was say okay let me read a question. I was saying did you receive any permission from Akunta Mining company at this point? I need to explain to you that A3 is not the same as A1 but Anchibosiako. So under the law we see them as two separate entities. A1 is a human being. A3 is a corporate and therefore an artificial person. There are different ways of the two entities engaging in transaction with third parties. Ana Chama Wontumi lawyer ebusa Ogum Henry ni say me catch me see the piacha say Chama Wontumi onya Akunta Mines. Na Akunta Mines e different from Chama Wontumi. Chama Wontumi no eye nipa. Ana Akunta Mines enye nipa eye artificial. A omo nipa like say omo run adwuma no. Ana answer them say I said I do not understand. But when you go to Samna Boy, nobody knows Akunta Mining Board of Directors. And I said earlier on, I am not a director or board of director of Akunta Mines. And so I know, so what I know is that Chama Wontumi owns Akunta Mines and Akunta Mines is Chama Wontumi. What say? Me dey o come ntiase. Madika Canada say me nya board of directors e wa Akunta Mines. Na dia minim ni say se ukọ Samna Boy a obi ani wa wonim Akunta Mines board of directors bia dia yenim a Madika kan che on say chama wontumi akonta mines akonta mines chama wontumi dia ana akonta mines nso omura ne chama wontumi te dia obi anim no ana so busa na question bi o say will you agree with me that in the transaction between you your good self and Akonta Mining Company Limited in the legal in the alleged transaction there was no document from Akonta Mining or Chama Wontumi to you or say obeja tum say ebra wo ne Chama Wontumi san hye na mo se maye no krata sembia ni wa mo yeye and I say I did not have any agreement or transaction with Akonta Mines as a company but I have a verbal agreement with Chama Wontumi. What's it? Masa medika aka no. Minni enkratasemo we can say nhyehyɛ bi with Akonta Man kwa minim no. Na eye kasa ano kasa me ne Chama Wontumi di ehye say menko anye menko tutu form. Na me to gold. Na fa menya land reclamation. Anati as in a court san say that from the above this court found that this is a proper case where the third accused corporate veil should be lifted. Was say court no abesi gina say enkatanimu bia yedi akata say there's something existing as Akonta Mines o si yi na nipa ban na o sha Akonta Mines achi no ye twini ba gina odi na asem how they cast lifting the veil was it that there's no real difference between the first accused and the third accused in relation with this dealing with PW2 was it has say ya lifting veil no ya yin katanimu no entuma dan ni mu ate entino sesia no ensusuye bia na Akonta Man ene Chama Wontumi e se Chama Wontumi ya Akonta Man Chama Wontumi court no si gina ye wa ha was say indeed the third accused never had any proper corporate governance structure in place so the said Akonta Mines no ni e kan say adwumakuo enhyehyeye your board of directors your secretary your accountant Akonta Mines no oni bi there's no evidence that the third accused had a functional management board or executive officer in place to behave as a company. Was it? Adanse bien was say Akonta Mines na our board of directors our management ya ebema obeye adwuma say adwumaku a wode hyehye eye adwuma anti Akonta Man eye Wontumi. All decisions and dealings with PW2 were with the first accused and him alone. Was it sheye enkomodie nketahudie bia PW2 that is Henry Okunu a woye adwuma wura ono kofa jedu ayisimu no a ba chi wo no oni Chama Wontumi di sakita ono and were all informal and never in written. Ya amfa nkratasem ya amfa adwuma hyehyeye bia engu akwan mu. Was it this court finds that the first accused was the true and the de facto mineral right holder in the concession in question. See Amate and Social Security Bank. Social Security Bank versus Robertson. Consolidated 1987 to 1988. And a charge sheet. And was say, and nam say, na ye ni enkratasam adefa adwuma no Akonta Mines akontamans eni enhyepa eni bibia no sesi aba beto dwa se chama Wontumi ano de facto holder bibia eye ne dia enti no bibia sobo bia se bo chama Wontumi ana wa site cases a ebia si ebra na asemu ana o say Amate versus Social Security Bank versus Robertson consolidated in 1987 our movie in 1988 like the holiday see there court actually sigina say there's no difference between Chama Wontumi and Akontamans and I can for ewa ebusia for my brenzu yento aso can for hey I don't also abre and nothing me catch them say akoebe o say my I fear mo my Abuja for I say a solid TV Ghana. Medin de Shaibula Sisi, Yatinkunyama, ye church and Semu, ye church and Semu, about Chama Wontumi ruling Nabano, de Ubi Antiasiano, and ye Jomu, a Chicasemu, Emma Manfo, a Woody, Echo. Na Moma Min Chamo, Namin Pet and Subi and Nomra because ruling a dorsal papa, Mommy Chamo, and Namin Pet and Subi and Emra.
Minya Ghana need you. If it's just said the one we never have president, Minya Ghana need you. Ghana for Musorio, Ghana for Musorio, and before you know Musorio, and before you know Musorio, I am Munti, and I'm Mahama MC. This vice president to that. Me, I don't want to.
Let me respond briefly to the chairperson on the issue of illegal mining. I want to assure him and all of you that Akonta mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak. Further, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has, through the agency of the Forestry Commission, with the assistance of the military, made the effort to cordon off all 294 sites of forest reserves in the country and rid them of illegal mining as we speak. We will continue to work to ensure that this situation remains permanent. This government is determined to win the fight against Galamsey, no matter the cost. Let me respond briefly to the chairperson on the issue of illegal mining. I want to assure him and all of you that Akonta mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak. Further, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has, through the agency of the Forestry Commission, with the assistance of the military, made the effort to cordon off all 200.
Yanko.
Let's say, Chama Wontumi, or the Zavosai, or them. San say, most abaya bra, Galam say. Bawa, Bam, Wontumi, God Baba too, radio station. Someone shy, who will say, what Bob Brony be only be quiet, Galam say, no matter, no jelly. Why opening? I saw this ever some money 30 years, 20 years in the Croatia. I saw them for 30 years. Sana, I saw them. Oh, Kuminipa. On Kuminipa now walk on. And Grandma Blofona, a 2 and we are jello. Omo Kuminipa.